You never watched Doge play his bass drum.
I can give you 10 camels. I can give you 10 camels for your hand in marriage.
Angry penis, dog.
Yeah, I've been known to be angry a couple of times.
Ooh.
For borderline line.
That's okay.
Hello?
Wayne Lara.
Hey girl, you sound. Yeah, I'm gonna let you know. You sound gorgeous. Hey girl, you sound gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Where did Bean go? Fuck. Altan.
Yo.
Altan ya khara. أنا متها.
Oh, they're both Arab? Pretending not to be Arabi? Wow.
We didn't even pretend. You're the Hamara that never caught on.
Ooh.
It's your stupid Indian accent.
That wasn't good accent. That was a pretty bad imitation.
Well, I'm out of here. This is a waste of time as usual.
Yeah.
I think we're at a tipping point moment right now in American history. Are we going to actually move towards a balanced budget in Washington, D.C.? If you listen to President Trump over the past few days, he said organic, whole. And this is a mystery and a miracle. But according to the Zen masters, such is being performed every day. Satori can thus be had only through our once personally experiencing it. In the psychology of religion, this spiritual enhancement of one's whole life is called conversion. But as the term is generally used by Christian converts, it cannot be applied in its strict sense to the Buddhist experience, especially to that of the Zen followers. The term has too affective or emotional a shade to take the place of Satori, which is above all noetic. The general tendency of Buddhism is, as we know, more intellectual than emotional, and its doctrine of enlightenment distinguishes it sharply from the Christian view of salvation.
Well, you believe in apostolic succession, and that
Zen, as one of the Mahayana schools, naturally shares a large amount of what we may call transcendental intellectualism, which does not issue in logical dualism. When poetically or figuratively expressed, Satori is the opening of the mind flower, or the removing of the
Hi, beautiful. How's your day been? I'm thinking of you. Yes, again. Prepping the coach house. Oh, so cute. True clown queen. True clown queen. Hi, beautiful. How's your day been? Thinking of you and see kisses are prepping the coaches for painting at the moment.
It's an absolute honor to stand here today, not just as mentors, but as witnesses to one of the most inspiring legal journeys we've ever seen. 6 years ago, Kim Kardashian walked into this program with nothing but a...
Congressman Omar, anybody say?
Can I get your reaction?
Last night in Washington, something horrific happened.
Artist, this is Christian.
It's an absolute honor.
Fast lane drive, Chicago.
For that.
All right. Would you like to expound on it before I go to Tara?
I would love to, and by the way, and again, no disrespect. I did not invite anybody here because I've just been here for like 3 minutes. But it looks like some peeps have come in. I'm assuming it's because of you, man. It's because I've been an atheist for the past 25 years. But that being said, and hang on a second, I always tell people, if God is working for you, keep God in your life. Because I remember and I know that for the first 35 years of my life, God worked for me. But for the past 25, I've been an atheist. And once again, man, you hold amazing rooms. Thank you.
Nah, man, I appreciate you. Let me just welcome everybody. We got Quinn, we got Carbon, we got the man with the plan, Steve. We got God himself. God Divine is in the room. Comedian, our lead. We got Rohan. We got Laser. My existence, my savior, Laser. We got the Muslim. We got Jay. Y'all welcome to the room. Welcome, 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 welcome. So I was just in the room, and then you had people arguing on the stance of not believing in God, and then I understand that there's believers in God, there's not believers in God. Which side do we choose? Which side do we tell our children to choose? Which side are you on, and which side do we go for in life, saying, well, children, be a believer in God, or children, be a non-believer in God? Where we at with this? So next, let me get God Divine. You were next. Carver, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, I didn't know we were talking about the children too. So for me, like knowing what I know now, I wouldn't force believing on God on my children, but still like raising your children up in certain spiritual environments can help out in the long run. So if they were wanting to have that connection with the source, they can. But I'm not going to force it to say we got to go to church, or I'm gonna drag them and force them to read the Bible. But me being that example, I feel like is where it starts.
Put me in
All
the
right,
queue.
let's get God. I'm gonna come to your next comedian after God Divine. What we got, God Divine?
I think as early as they can comprehend it, that you tell them as much of the truth as you see it. So for me, I point out what I see my son will see. He'll see religious people claiming to have the truth in their book and their building, and then they'll say that the other people are wrong. So I want him to be able to look at it from a perspective, not that he's stuck in one book or in one building, but he can see, oh, that's interesting. They all seem to be saying a similar thing, but they want to have the monopoly or the, we're the chosen people or whatever kind of title they want to give to exalt themselves above other believers, not even non-believers. They want to be better than you're believing in the wrong thing, even though there's supposed to be one thing. Because once he sees that, then he won't need to keep on coming to me and asking me questions. He'll always have the ability to discern for himself. I will always be here to answer questions for him, but I would rather him be able to tell me what he's learned, and then we can discuss that versus him need me to affirm something for him.
Right, man. Excellent point. I do have another question, but I'm away. Comedian, how we doing, Mike? This is what we got now.
Yeah, I'm good. Basically, I just wanted to say that I don't want to mention anybody specifically in the room. Uncle Steve taught me that. But what I'm trying to get across is large language models and books. You may say you're an atheist, but that's very lazy because you're essentially refuting countless books related to many religions which have a lot of information about psychology and psyche. And so when Carbon said it's good to raise a child up in a spiritual fashion, what you're talking about is psychology and anger management, emotional management, maturity, intellect, maturation, self-development, personal development. So you can use these books and still call yourself an atheist because the books, if you read Preacher, Ecclesiastes, Vanity of Vanities, there's a lot to be learned there about about human brain science, about your condition in life, how to improve your life. So I think it's ridiculous to just say, I'm an atheist, but not discuss the books. I mean, I like the book club. That to me, if I was to join a religious organization, it better have a book club, is what I'm saying.
Shama, can I have a 60-second response, please, or should I wait?
Go ahead, the man with the plan. You got it.
All right, thank you very much. It won't take me longer than 60 seconds. I know that a lot of people, not to name names, I practice what I preach, think atheists are lazy. However, in my humble opinion, it is more lazy to call 500 million, and there are over 500 million atheists around the planet, to call them lazy. I think a lot of atheists, not all, have read books, have looked at all the evidence and literature on both sides, and hopefully made a comprehensive decision that the evidence on the side against God is more compelling, more believable, more substantial than the evidence on the other side of the coin. Thank you, Shama.
Thank you, my existence. So we're gonna get existence in the name of our lead. What we got, our lead? What's your thoughts?
Good evening, everybody. What I would say to the topic of the room tonight, if a person is looking for peace and tranquility within himself as well as his surrounding, and he's looking for a solution to his life problems, he's going to have to discover the truth, or what I call, discover God. And once he discovers God, he will automatically, naturally believe in God. And as far as the side thing about children, I think it's very important that a person first solve this problem properly, consciously first, and figure out the answer to this question before passing it down to the children.
I appreciate it. Did you want to address that, Steve? I see you put the thumbs down there and comedian.
Yeah, baby. I'll even be quicker this time. I'll be 30 seconds. I don't think you absolutely black and white, no gray, have to discover God to have a better life. And one classic example would be the people that, in the name of God, hijacked an airliner, flew it into the Twin Towers, and killed thousands of people. But that's just one example. Thank you.
can I go next, Shama? Put me in the queue.
Did you? So, comedian, let him respond right back to Steve, and then comedian, you can address what he said. All right? Go ahead, Awali. You can address for everyone.
Well, they say that when a person does not have a logical point, then they get two personalities. So that basically everybody can see how smart the brother Steve is.
Okay, so
All right, comedian, you got it.
yeah, so basically, the thing about an atheist, like Steve said, there's 500 million atheists on the planet. They've read all the books, and they've all come to the conclusion that the sky god or the king god or the godfather is not real. Now, okay, great, but there's still a metaphysic or an energy, essentially, which is what you are and what the universe is. So there's more to just atheism or atheism. There's a physics. There's physics behind all of this. It's energy. And so in terms of this app and really your whole life, it comes down to the sound, meaning what kind of sound are you emitting? Are you complaining all the time? Are you criticizing all the time? Are you playing music? Are you creating peace? And so to me, that's really the fruits or the products of a religious education is you realize I'm not trying to create disharmony in my life by emitting uncomfortable sounds or tell lies or try to lead people down rocky roads so I can get as much money out of them as possible. I'm trying to essentially communicate intelligence, clarity, transparency, truth. And maybe it hasn't always come off that way in my life, but to me, that's the truth about God is it's not war and conflict. It's peace and harmony. It's joy now, which is the message of God. And so people who want to take you from that path, they may not understand the message or they are still perfecting and working on their communication.
Great. Hey, that was some powerful points, especially using the term energy and what sound you are emitting or giving off. And so, as I listen, right, to the sound, the voice of atheist and theist, right, or a theist if you are a theist, right. When I listen to you guys give off the sound of controversy about God. So the frequency of controversy always comes when it comes to believing in God or not believing God on both sides. So that's a sound that is given off from both sides. My question is this: dealing with the children which are pure, which doesn't, like, my child doesn't take a stance on being a believer or a non-believer because I don't open the door for her to choose anything like that. However, when it comes to children, right, which one is trustworthy, or which one is the quality of people that are trustworthy that you should let children cling to and be an example of how to live in purity? Would it be believers in God, or would it be those who do not believe in God, non-believers?
You mean like the Catholic Church?
Hey, you let me know. I'm just asking. I'm throwing it out there.
It can be both.
The reason I say that is because the vibe was kind of like, would you want your children around good Christian God, good people, or the evil, bad atheists? Who knows what they'll do? Maybe that's not the tone that you meant, but that's the undertones that I heard. So that's why.
Forgive me.
Because you never know. Usually, the more people, the more power the person gets, no matter what industry they're in. That's where the corruption comes.
But the God.
Yeah, forgive me real quick, comedian. I'm gonna say this. Now, I told you my daughter doesn't. I wouldn't tell her to follow believers in God, or I would tell her don't associate with any of it because it's all the energy of controversy. At the end of the day, I'm asking the people in the room. Well, when it comes to the children of the earth, what do you say? Oh, are believers in God more trustworthy than non-believers, or are non-believers in God more trustworthy than believers? What's your stance on that?
I would love to answer that question, and once again, your Uncle Steve will do it within 60 seconds. When it comes to trustworthiness, who do I trust? I don't give a shit, pardon, I hope I didn't offend anybody, what your religion is, what your sex is, what your disability or sexual orientation is. What I care about is you as an individual. Are you honest? Are you consistent? Can I count on you? Which all equals whether or not you're trustworthy. It's the individual, not the group. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying that the Bible can be used for programming, and so you may meet people who are atheists that took the programming, and they're no longer theists because they've moved past it, because the programming is not needed anymore. So you just have to essentially view books as, on shelf storage programs that you can run that script through your mind and incorporate that into your psyche. And so your children actually need a contrast. They need the theist and they need the atheist, just how black and white go together. It's the pairing of opposites. Without the contrast, there's no differentiation. And you have to have differentiation to find a silver lining, which is always going to be the truth. Meaning it's not too much of this and not too much of that. There is an equilibrium here at play. And if you are all or nothing on one position, unfortunately, I don't think you got the message, because the message is center mass and equilibrium at all times. That's the secret of the mysticism, which is essentially harmony now, this is the Garden of Eden, but you have been fooled by words to be taken out of the paradise. And so that's my opinion.
I will take a little bit different view because I think the job of the father is not to, after a child reaches a certain age, is not to give answer, but to help the child discover the answer himself or herself. Because the father is guiding the children, helping them discover the answer, whether to believe in the people who are believing God or don't believe in God. I think the job of the father is to guide, is to help the child discover the answer for themselves. Why? Because in that process, the child goes through a lot of learning, and that learning is very important for a child to be able to discover for himself or herself. Because once they discover for themselves, they know why they believe, or why they believe one side is right or the other side is right, or both sides are not right. I think that's the way the father should lead the children.
Shama, is it okay if I ask Allah a question if he's okay with it?
Of course, my existence. Go ahead.
Shama, I'm sorry, Allah, can I ask you, is it Allah? Can I ask you a question?
Please go ahead.
So, you think that it's the job of the father to educate the children to believe what they think, even if it might be against what the Bible says. Is that correct, or am I mistaken?
Please repeat the question one more time.
Do you think the father should tell the children, if you don't believe certain parts of the Bible, that's okay?
I think, Brother Steve, you didn't listen to what I said.
Which is why I'm asking the question.
If you would listen,
I will.
If you would listen, Brother Steve, you will not have to ask the question. What I said was, the father doesn't have to tell the child one thing or the other, whether to believe in part of the Bible or not. The job of the father is to guide the child to study and discover it, both the scientific route and the theological route, and discover the answer for himself.
So, if I could just ask one logical follow-up question, and I know you said that if I listen, I shouldn't have to ask any questions, which, by the way, I completely disagree with, but that's another story. So, are you saying that if the child studies the Bible and determines that a lot of the Bible is completely not true, that's okay? Do you agree with that?
If that's what the child determines, absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
question here. All right, anywho, so let's put yourselves in the shoes of children, or your feet in the child's shoes. If you were a child, right, would it be in your mind to actually choose either side? Like, if you were a child, do children even focus on things like that? So if you put yourself back in the shoes of a child, right? Would a child be like, "Oh, I'm a believer in God. I'm a non-believer," or this is completely out of their minds?
It's the communication. It's the communication that the child ingests. When I was a child, my father had a box of books in a cabinet in the basement. That was my primary source, other than high school and the library, etc. But those were the books I had at home. I mean, there's a saying, show me the books you have at home, and you'll see the person in front of you. I mean, in many ways, we are what we've read and what we communicate. I mean, it goes, if somebody can quote things or know things, I mean, this is the basis of education and knowledge. It's words, and books are where they're at.
So let me get this back, comedian, real quick. So, comedian,
bring that out, brother. Bring it out.
Yeah. So as a child, right, you ran into books. What you mean? What kind of books? So just so I know
My dad was like big into this church on the radio called the Intercontinental Church of God by Garner Ted Armstrong and Herbert Armstrong. And when I got to college, they had a book in the library called The Kingdom of Christian Cults. And it was a big Christian church in Pasadena. They had a big building and all this stuff, all this money. But they're like Seventh-day Adventists or Jews for Jesus, essentially, because my dad is a Jew. So for him, I think the fact that they keep all the Jewish laws and traditions is like appealing for him, in the sense that he can work his, identity with a Christian organization within the United States. Because there's in groups and out groups within all these religious organizations. I've been to synagogues where converts have to sit in the convert section of the synagogue. And to me, that doesn't seem good, that we don't need to categorize or silo people who are there for education. It's all education and publishing, and that's all it is. And all the speakers on this app, all the communication spammers, and all the communication hypnotists, they're not running classrooms, and nobody on this app is reading books. It's all fucking spam, and it's all projection almost all the time, and it's always spam, but many times it's hypnosis. If that's it. Those are my opinions.
No, I got you. So now, hear carefully what I'm saying, y'all. Put yourself in a child's position. I understand the influencing of books out there, but I remember being a child, and I did not care about being either or. Like I didn't, even though I knew that my mom then was a believer or whatever. I was not into that. I mean, I don't care about being a believer in God or not. That in my mind, I'm ready to climb trees. I'm ready to go play hide and go seek. I'm ready to do a whole bunch of things. But I don't care about picking a side. So if you put yourself back in a child's position, or if you go back to when you were a child, I would say, were you arguing about either side at that point? That's what I'm asking. So who's next?
Well, it depends on when they put that fear of God in you. That's the whole idea.
But that would be
some parents want to do it earlier, and some parents want to do it later. So it really depends on what age the parent thinks that's a healthy. Because remember, you have to make the person think that in most religions that there's something wrong with them, that there's that they're fallen, or they're in a fallen state, or they contain sin that they can't control, and there's a good place and a bad place. So for the younger that you put that into somebody, you could argue that that's better. But honestly, you're not using love to entice them. You're using fear to make them do the thing. It's more of a fear-based incentive.
But real quick, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna say this real quick, beloved. That's why I'm saying put yourself back in the position. I understand. There's different narrative of how children grow. I'm talking about you. So when you put yourself back when you go back to when you was 7 and stuff like that, did you be like, yo, I'm gonna defend being a believer in God, or I'm gonna defend being a non-believer in God? Were you doing that? Because I remember I wasn't doing nothing like that. That's me. But I'm saying where you was at.
Maga's slick ass. This is politically incorrect.
That's what it was. We weren't having any.
Which is that fat bastard from Florida.
Rick Ross.
Yeah, the CEO from Florida.
Ricky Rose?
No, the CEO from Florida. I don't know that nigga real name. I just call him CEO from Florida. And that pretty much ended that whole thing. 50 Cent fuck. I don't recommend that.
Why not, Scotty?
I'm just gonna.
Is this the men's room now? What's going on? Where's everybody?
We've been waiting for you to chime in, Miss Lisa.
Lisa, we're talking about fashion. You came in at the.
What up, people?
I'm just trying to take this
What up,
cast off.
You know what it is.
What up, Haitian?
What it do? What it do?
Okay?
What up,
Are
man?
you okay?
This guy wants to call into the
Yeah, you
show.
alright, Haitian? Do I
Yeah,
need
I'm
to
alright,
send somebody
yo.
over for a wellness check?
I'm a warrior, yo. It's all good. It's only one. We only one down. It's all good.
I'm actually.
Yeah,
I was
I was worried that you might have got stage 9 too.
I was actually mad about it, Haitian. I was mad about it.
Yeah, I was fucking beyond mad last night. It's all good though.
I moved
What
my
happened
car.
last night? What
I
happened?
moved my car so I didn't get bent.
Yo, you don't want to talk about it.
I watched the highlights.
Oh, they talking about
It was bad.
the net.
Yeah.
Y'all lost your legs. Yeah, the highlights were horrible.
Yep. So, hey, at least I called you earlier. Next time, pick up your damn
Yeah.
phone. Yeah. Read what I put in Telegram.
Okay.
But Lisa, right before you came on, what we were talking about, I was telling them that I had picked up 5 acres of light industrial zone land out here. Now I was telling them what I did was I had 2 friends wrap it up twice right before I made my bid intentionally. So I had it was on the market for. I did.
He committed fraud. He committed fraud.
Then I low-balled the shit out of them and it worked.
I had a friend who did that too.
I don't think I'm inventing the wheel, but it worked.
Wait, so what did they do? What did they do, Gemini? They offer a bid. They don't go into escrow, so they pull out before.
They pull out before escrow. They do all the due diligence. They do a contract. They do everything. But keep the agent wrapped up. Keep the property off the market.
You're not gonna do that to me over here. That's for damn sure.
No, I'm on the West Coast, so you're safe.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying we keep an eye on that shit. But you can scam people.
That's not really a scam. I bought it.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I'm saying like we got a lot of people who do shady shit out here, but we kind of know if you've been around for a long time, you kind of know right off the jump not to fall for it.
I don't want to take all the credit. I have a friend. She's cool as fuck. She's a real estate agent. She's the one suggested that I do it that way. She said it's been sitting. Let it sit a little bit more. Let them get a couple offers and see how low they're willing to go. So we're actually testing them on what they accepted. They accepted the first offer they accepted from my friend was lower than asking, and the second one was even lower. So I knew where to come in at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's not a scam as much as a stress test.
Yeah, I get.
Now I'm sounding like Trump stress test.
No, but do you just for that? Like, do you have to show when somebody does that? Do they have to show proof of funds?
Oh yeah. My friends have money, so they proofed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're capable. They just were doing it on my behalf. But no, I'm not dealing with brokies.
They proofed up and they ain't brokies.
But literally, she suggested that to me. She was like, let's find out where their head's at. We can come in twice and see what they're willing to accept. So when I guarantee you, when you make your offer, they're going to go for it.
She was right. Women are more cunning than us. I'm telling y'all.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Mama Jazzy's discounted Q's cash flows into the future. Did you see that, bro? Trying to click on it, but I can't get in. Oh shit, that's a funny title.
Hey, Shikey, bro.
Did it? Oh, here we go.
My mother's grandmother's mother or grandmother's grandmother. One of them.
When is it that you think that your family stopped being ethnically Jewish? Which
We
generation?
were never. She converted.
Whoa. Who converted?
The Jew.
Your great-great-grandmother converted?
Yeah, to marry my great-great-great-grandfather from my mother's side.
And he was Christian?
Yeah, of course. We don't marry non-Christians.
So then she was ethnically Jewish. So now you have Jewish cousins that you don't visit?
Yes, because they go by the mama. I don't go by the mama. I go by
Wait
the
a minute.
You got two accounts now?
Grandmother, did she have siblings that had kids? So you now have Jewish cousins all over Clubhouse, and you don't even know who you're related to?
That's why I was talking to Nair. You know, maybe Nair is my relative. Like, that's the thing. I don't know.
Why, you share the same last name?
He admits it. I don't even know her last name. I have to check the family tree. I don't even have it.
Yeah, I thought.
This is such great news. Just by absorption, you know, you create the name Rabbi, you become a member of the tribe. You know, Kick me. He's a member.
But what's your favorite place of vacation outside the country, though? What's the best spot?
I haven't been there. I haven't.
I think Rabbi kicked me.
Hold on.
Wait, no, let's make sure we understand.
What's up with y'all?
Well, why don't you just agree? Just go, yeah, that's true, JCC.
No, it's not true. I'm about to tell you why.
No, it's not true.
I'm about to tell you why it's not true, bro. Just be quiet.
Did Muhammad
For
talk
5
to God?
seconds. Man,
Did Muhammad talk to God?
God, sound like you Christian.
Did Muhammad talk to God? Did Muhammad talk to God? Did Muhammad talk to God?
No, he didn't. No, he talked to an angel, and then the angel talked to
So
him.
can I say what I'm going to say?
So,
Are you saying
so God told an
are you
angel
saying
what to
that-
tell
are you
Muhammad.
saying- I'm trying to understand.
So in none of this chain of events over the timeline of the Muslim fucking bullshit story that I'm delineating through, does Muhammad actually talk to God directly? We know this, but he just won't concede.
If he did, you wouldn't believe it anyway, right? So why you keep
Why don't you just tell us
on it?
when he did?
Listen, if I said he did, you wouldn't believe it
Why don't
anyway.
you just tell us when?
I don't understand why you keep asking that question.
Well, you don't
God
believe that
exists.
Paul saw
You don't
Jesus
believe God
after he
exists, so
resurrected.
you're saying, listen,
You don't believe
he's
that
telling
Paul
you-
saw
he's
Jesus
saying,
after he
Muhammad
resurrected?
spoke to
Dumb
God.
fuck.
You wouldn't believe it anyway.
You know a lot about
So
the
why
Bible
you keep
to
on
be an
regurgitating
Dude, you're just a
the same
typical
stupid
dumb
question
fucking Muslim,
that
dude.
you're
Shut
not
the hell
gonna
up.
even, you don't believe anyway.
He's a Muslim.
Yeah, Muslims are stupid, dude.
Hey, I ain't gonna let y'all jump my brother like that. Fuck y'all. Y'all don't believe in God, so why y'all even use the scripture like y'all know it?
I'm just gonna ask you, JC.
We know the scriptures better
If I
than
tell you
believers
something,
do. That's the
JC, I'm gonna
problem.
ask you
If you
something.
actually read it and thought about the shit that you claim to believe in, you wouldn't believe
Bro, I
it either.
didn't
But you
even have a
don't.
conversation
But
to see if
instead,
it's true or not.
you just pretend and then lie
We
about
can't
it.
even have the
That's all.
conversation to see if it's true or not. If it's false, then you'll be able to point it out, smart men, college grads, right?
Wait, are you a
So
Muslim?
why are you tripping so much?
Wait,
If
do
it's
you know what the
false, we have
Quran
to point
says?
it out. So why
You're
why
evidence
you
that it's
even
full of
having
shit.
the conversation with
Amir,
somebody?
you are evidence. Amir, you are the evidence.
You've been running your mouth, man. So
No, you're just
it's
running your
gonna
mouth.
be
That's why
exactly
it's
what you
evidence
say
that the
it is,
Quran is
right?
full of shit. If the
It's gonna
Quran
be
were actually
exactly
true, you'd speak
what you
better
say
on
it
it.
is. But I would tell
You'd
you one
actually
thing.
say more
You
things that
gotta
make
be
sense.
the most unintelligent
But
man I've
instead,
ever
you're
met
being
to
like
say
Rocco.
that there's no
You're
creator.
being like
And
Rocco.
somehow you just got here, but no one
You're just
put
a fucking
no one placed you
loudmouth
here.
fucking
No one is
dope.
taking care of you, huh? You gotta be the most unintelligent dude.
No, I'm
think that
more
no one's
intelligent than
taking
you are, dude.
taking care of you when things have been on earth before you came on
You just sound like a
earth,
loudmouth
and
Muslim.
it benefits you. You stupid one.
I can live with myself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about
They do
your
the Pledge of Allegiance.
Amir,
They
what
end
are
it
you
with
gonna,
God.
Amir, what are you gonna, fuck God and the Pledge of Allegiance. What were you gonna ask me, Amir?
Oh, so you're not an American.
I just wanted to ask JC one thing. If I tell you, JC, to write this, right, on paper,
Yeah.
who's the author? You or me?
Romero, this guy's the numbnuts.
You are the author. I'm the dictator.
Okay. So if me saying that the angel came to the Prophet Muhammad with the word of God, what makes you say that's not the word of God? That is the
Typical
word of the
dumb
angel.
Muslim who doesn't want to be
Because it
legitimate
comes from
on
an
stage.
angel. Well, first and foremost,
Hey,
buddy,
honey,
sweetie,
probably be the
what do you need,
platform
baby
where
face?
you be able to say whatever you want to say to people, right?
Yeah.
Because I know you wouldn't say it in real life, right?
No, I
I know
would.
you was having a
What would you
right
threaten
to
me?
speak to men
Why, you think this
the
is
way you
fighting
speak to men on
words?
this
Are you
platform,
threatening
right?
me
I'm not even
physically?
talking to you.
Are you threatening
I
me
know that you're having
physically?
the time of
Do you
your
think
life
these are
to
fighting
to
words?
disrespect people while you're on the platform.
Yeah, I don't know why you would
I get
throw
it,
an
I
empty
get it.
threat at me.
It's always you
dumbass.
atheist dudes that always got this anger inside you. You can't have one
I'm
and you
fine.
want to
I'm cooking a
insult.
steak.
You want to insult.
They're not
But I will
atheists.
never
They're not
find you in the real life insulting anybody.
See how it is? This guy's threatening me with physical.
They're not
No,
atheists.
you
They're
are the one
believing
that's coming.
plasma.
You're the one coming
They're believing
insulting. You're talking to
plasma.
JC, and you're jumping in, saying things from the sideline.
You just sound
Yeah,
stupid.
they've been jumping me since earlier.
And
They
dishonest.
believe in plasma. They
If you
believe
use, I would
in
have punched you in your
Hey,
mouth,
man, go
man.
home
To
to
be
your
honest
mom.
I
with
just
you.
like to interject when people are being
Run in your
dumb
mouth.
and dishonest like you are.
brother.
So what did you achieve with all that, Amir?
Not a goddamn thing.
He's claiming that Muhammad spoke directly to Allah, but there's nowhere that he can verify.
I never said that.
Okay, so will you concede that
But now
Muhammad
you're lying.
never spoke with Allah?
But now you're lying.
Yeah, see? Now he won't just fucking concede. JCC made a good point. He
Amir,
won't just concede.
Amir, did God communicate with Muhammad vocally? Did God vocally speak to Muhammad?
They had a physical relationship, basically.
Is your name Amir?
Fuck that. You've been jumping niggas all day. We jumping your ass. Fuck that. Let them speak.
Wow, I feel so jumped.
Yeah,
My
let them
God,
speak.
all those
Fuck
punches
these
and kicks.
atheists, man. We gotta
Nah,
get
it's 3
them,
on
guys.
3. Nah, I like
You all
that.
believe in God, right?
It's 3 on 3. It's 3
We
on
can
3.
have a conversation, bro. We can have a conversation, bro.
So Amir, I'll ask my question again. Did God verbally communicate with sounds with Muhammad? Did he talk to Muhammad vocally?
No, man, he did. He didn't do that. Why? Why you pressuring me, man?
The silence speaks volumes.
No, I never said that. I never said that. I never said that. You hear me?
Why don't you fucking answer his question then, dumb fuck?
So
I
Amir,
never said that. I never
Amir,
said that. You got this honey
ask
dude
you
with
again.
the name is Honey. He probably a sweet dude.
Yeah, I'm so sweet.
Amir.
I never said that. I said what I said. And now you guys are taking what I said and you're making something else out of it.
I'm
Amir,
if I said that, like, you really...
Y'all want to have a conversation? Or
Yeah, are you going to answer a fucking question?
the meta, but I guess what I would want to ask is, like, if I try to convince you of something, I said, oh, an angel told me the other day, blah, 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 is true, would you believe me because I said an angel told me?
No.
So why do
Amir,
you believe?
That's the reason why we're having a conversation, because I was hoping that you guys ask the questions, why do you believe it's true? Or why is this? You get little things and then you guys just run off with it, bro, and you just don't have a conversation. So it's just
can I
like
ask you a question?
Don't hold your feet to the fire, numbnuts.
Amir, can I ask you a question? Do angels have vocal cords?
They speak.
Yes, they sing.
They speak. Like
They sing.
They
Like
have
Lucifer,
vocals,
the guy you
I don't
believe in,
know.
Lucifer. He was the best singer. Yeah, they definitely sing.
So Amir, you're saying that an angel spoke to Muhammad and Muhammad just took dictation?
the angel came to the Prophet Muhammad with the words of the Creator.
And he spoke vocally
and
to
he
Muhammad.
recited, bro, it's like you got it all figured out, I guess. Because I can't even tell
He's
you.
asking you questions.
You're telling me before I even end the sentence, you're telling me.
He's asked
you a question.
No, he's not asking me anything. You know, I don't know the difference between somebody asking me something.
I heard him
If you're asking
so.
for something, you asking to hear the answer, then you respond. But he's coming in while I'm answering him and telling me what the answer is.
I
Right?
heard him ask, so did the angel use a vocal language?
So,
He spoke to him in the matter that he spoke to him in. There's no details on if the angel has a voice.
Okay, so just say you don't know.
And all that kind of stuff.
How
I'm
does
not
an
gonna
angel?
speak on that.
Yeah, so Amir, so you don't know, right?
How would an
Yeah,
angel?
I only know what we're only gonna speak on the things that we have knowledge of, right?
Right.
So everything we won't have knowledge of, right? But certain
So
things we will have knowledge
So
of.
you don't know if an angel can speak or not, but you just believe it, right?
No, I did not say that.
I'm asking you a question.
You're going into the whole thing. Do they have vocal
No,
cords?
I didn't say you.
I don't know how in the matter you spoke to him.
I didn't say you said it. I asked you a question, right? So you don't know if an angel speaks. You just believe it, right?
Yes, it's based upon belief and knowledge. Gotcha. Knowledge and belief.
Gotcha.
Okay, with that said, does that mean that Muhammad was just God's secretary?
He was his messenger.
Well, actually, that would make Muhammad the angel's secretary, because it's the angel that's brought the message.
Okay, so Muhammad's not even a middleman.
The message is the message is God's words, right? Through the prophet, to the angel, to the prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So through the angel to the prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Because I'm already a Muslim, so I'm gonna tell you what happened. Angels came to Muhammad, and angels told, "Hey, Muhammad, you're gonna marry Aisha," and he said, "Okay."
And she was 9, and everyone was cool with it.
She was 9.
Okay,
Now we're gonna have a conversation based upon the revelation, or you guys
Just
want to go
focus
into
on
some
how God
emotional
talks to people,
or some type of moral argument or something like that.
We haven't
right? 'Cause I'm
gotten
not gonna
through. We
argue
haven't
about
figured
something
out what
moral
you're talking
or what
about.
you think is moral and all that kind of stuff, because you atheists don't have a moral compass.
Yeah, don't say
Amir.
that.
Everything is
Now you're
subjective
jumping
anyway, so
around
you
like
can't
a
say
spaz.
it's moral or
Amir,
not
that's wrong.
anyway.
Amir,
Don't
that's
go
wrong.
there.
Amir, you spoke out of ignorance. Non-believers have morals. Morals.
Where you get it from? Where you get it from?
Shut up.
From people.
Shut up. From experience, right?
We get it from people.
We learn what we don't like to happen to us. We don't want that to be put on somebody else. It's really fucking simple.
We use
wisdom.
Why are you letting him side rail this shit, dude?
So if it's not objective, then
Get him back to how he knows what the fuck God said.
How does Allah talk?
You can't say something is moral or immoral.
Yes, I can.
Stop. You're too dumb for this conversation, Amir. Stick to the
Just because
simple
it's
shit.
subjective doesn't mean we can't have a moral, dude. How does you think morals are true? Our morals are Amir.
So if you tell Honey,
you're dumb, ignorant motherfucker.
You
be ignorant. You're not as smart as a
say, no, I think
Gumbo.
that's immoral. Honey say, well, I think it is moral. Who's
Gumbo
correct?
has more intelligence than you do.
Who's correct? JC?
Hey,
about what?
Honey said he wants to burn women, and you say it's immoral, and he said it is moral.
Hey, Amir.
How do you judge that?
For you.
Just subjective morality. If he says it's moral, you says it's not moral. Based on what? Based on what?
Amir, I have a question for you.
Here's a fundamental question. The question people are asking.
Amir, you have to be quiet, okay?
The question is this: would you believe a man that over a course of 23 years goes to a cave during a special month of Ramadan, and he claims that he had spoken to Archangel Gabriel, and he comes out and relay whatever he thinks he has heard orally to his immediate followers. At the same time, the man claimed at times Satan has spoken to him, and on the top of that, he forgets actually the verses that he has heard. So from my perspective, I think he made it up. All of it is made up. I do not believe a story like this in a man who claims that he has revelation from the God. That's just the question we're asking. Where do you get your evidence that actually he spoke to God? There was not a fly on the wall, let alone anyone else who witnessing this. So that's the fundamental question we're asking you. And tell us, where do you get your this confidence that he spoke to Archangel Gabriel?
Okay, so we would have to observe the message, right? the message, the man, the message, what he said, if he had to be three things in my book, right? He either had to be a liar, or he was insane, or he was telling the truth. Unless you can think of another category. Can you?
You could say probably psychologically, it's epileptic, probably, maybe some mental issues. That could be also.
Right, you'd be insane.
Yeah, but that's it falls into that category.
Right. So now we can look at
What's more likely on there?
Yeah. So anyway, just
Amir, what's more likely, you think?
Hey, would you just be quiet real quick?
Well, why don't you just answer that?
I'm talking to Ali right now. But at least he seemed like he's having a conversation and not just something.
You speaking to me, brother?
I'm speaking to Ali right now. So I'm saying Ali, that he would either Muhammad would have to either be a liar, or he would have to be insane, because you got to understand the forces that he would be going up against, right? Because it's not just that he is coming with a message; he's coming with a message that is going against what the people of the time believed in, like for all the Christians and the Jews and even the idol worshippers and all that, right? So now this man would have to definitely be insane to even come with a message as such, right? So, or he was telling the truth. I mean, unless you can think of another category.
No. Actually, there's a possibility that indicate over 23 years he made things up. He was also in contact with the Jewish people and other people in the city, and he made these things up. What did he make up? Let me just finish here. I'm just trying to tell you that what I'm trying to ask you, there is no evidence that Muhammad spoke to any angels. Nobody was in the cave. That's the point we're making. Anything else? So unless you can provide a direct.
That wasn't the only time the angel visited the prophet. Was in the cave. That wasn't the only time that the angel Gabriel visited.
No, I said over a course of 23.
Right, the Sahabas have been amongst the prophet and witnessed the angel come to him.
And also, the cave was not the only place. He claimed that he also had revelations coming to him in other places as well too. And also, there's a claim that he had a direct communication with God himself as well too. So these are pretty large claims to be made. I think the easier answer to more kind of accessible or makes sense to me would be that he just made these things up.
So are you saying that it's not even possible?
It is not possible.
That those things gonna happen.
Yes. Well, it is not possible.
Here, let me ask you again, Amir.
So
what's more likely? What's more likely?
Hold on. So are you
don't like that question?
So Ali, are you saying it's not possible because you?
Ali, maybe you should just ask him what's more likely.
Or are you saying that? Are you saying it's not possible, Ali, because you're saying that God doesn't exist in your paradigm, or that it's not possible for a man to get a revelation from God?
Let me just pick up on what Honey Badger was trying to say. Is it let's see, how do I say this? Which scenario would it be possible in terms of, is it likely that he spoke to Archangel Gabriel, or who made this and he made everything up? I mean, which one is the likeliest scenario? Because
that he spoke, that he got us from God.
Let me
okay, then you're just a dishonest person.
Okay, you gotta explain. Hold on, you gotta explain to me though.
No,
you gotta explain to me, Ali.
Finish what I'm asking. If you assume that he spoke to Archangel Gabriel, that entails a fantastic story that angels exist, Archangel was there, a God exists. Now compare and contrast with the story that the man made things up. Which one is more likely? That's what
that he met the angel, and that he met the angel.
To say that.
Okay, I would say, okay, that's a good question.
I gave you a better scenario that he made it up.
Yeah. But see, you can't make up. See, if you'd have made it up, Islam would have fell apart, right? Right? A false man can't even build a house, let alone build a religion, right? So if you're saying that Muhammad just made it up,
what about Jesus?
And Islam was able, hold on. If you're saying that Muhammad, just made it up, right? If you're saying that Muhammad just made it up, right? He just came up.
Too motivated, bro. You can't even have an honest discussion.
Hey, bro, can I speak to the man or not?
You can't have an honest discussion. You've already proven it.
I'm speaking to the man. He's asking me something.
Yeah, you just don't know how to do this, dude. You're not good at this.
Would you shut up?
You're dishonest, bro.
Honey, shut the fuck up.
We gotta punch this man in the face, man.
Hey, yo, honey bunny.
How are you gonna punch him
Wow.
in the face? Like you're gonna find out where he lives.
Really?
Take a road trip to find him.
You now want to?
And then you're gonna what? Like orchestrate a situation so that you can
These
publicly
threats of
punch him in
violence
the
from
face.
Muslims are endless, dude.
That's so weird, man.
That's weird. That's weird.
I'm
Actually, I'm
talking to one man. You got this dude that's coming off the mic. Just keep coming off the mic. Keep coming off the mic.
Oh
You
my
don't have a
God.
conversation. We ain't gotta have a conversation.
You're exhausting to
Period.
listen
You
to.
gotta have a conversation.
You're so
Hey,
dodgy.
let the
But I was talking to Ali. I was talking to Ali. I didn't think I was talking to the honey dude.
Right.
You
But
just don't
he's
like talking to
off
me.
the
I've
mic.
noticed that you keep deferring to me.
Ravioli,
Coming at me on now. Coming at me.
Hey,
Because you suck
Romeo.
at this, and I'm
Shut
willing to
your
tell
ass
you right
up,
away.
Romeo. Shut your ass up. Let's spoken to Romeo.
So you
Romeo.
think that like a public forum other people won't speak at? We?
It's tryouts
Say it
for the
again.
asylum.
Say it again. I'm not a Muslim, but what you said?
Romero.
There's a residency program at the asylum, and it's tryouts right now.
Yeah, real quick.
At the asylum?
FYI, a little public service announcement. We here has announced he only has an eighth grade education, so we gotta.
He sounds like it.
He made sure to tell us that,
I did.
as if he was like either bragging or warning us. I'm not really sure yet.
Probably a little bit of both, right?
Yeah, a
the ones
little
who
bit
are
of both.
impressed with
A little bit
education
of
are like,
both.
oh my
Let's
God.
get
Y'all
back
still
to
gonna answer me shit.
Amir. So Amir. So
No, you want to go back to Amir because y'all picking on Amir, but when I answer you shit, y'all niggas don't want to say nothing about it. Y'all,
What do we
y'all done
niggas?
switched.
What us
no, no,
niggas?
They don't believe in that no more.
What are us niggas
They
talking
no
about? What
longer believe in that. Honey Badger over there.
You
Honey
this,
Badger
you
over there
that,
talking about they don't believe in that. Yo ass JCC, you went on Google looking for automated shit to look up. Ravioli up here eating ramen noodles. He don't know what to say. And now you got Romeo in here. What you talking about?
Oh, Romeo, where art
thou, Romeo?
To work. His
Romeo,
name is Romero.
That bitch. Like I told you, 8th grade, I can't read.
Okay, good.
She sounds like you can't read.
Go to bed.
It's true, I can't. I'm in my truth. You mad at? Because I'm in my truth.
It's embarrassing. So what
I'm
happened that you didn't learn how to
So
read?
how come you didn't answer my shit though? Yeah, y'all want to pick on Amir as soon as Amir came and backed me up. As soon as Amir came and backed me up, and he showed you scripture. Hold on, listen.
What's your question?
Amir, no, you know my question. Don't play stupid. Amir came in to back me up, showed you scripture. Amir came in here, showed you scripture, and then y'all want to change the whole subject. Now y'all want to talk about this and that and everything else.
You know what? You're right. You're using
You know I'm right, brother.
So we're to start quoting Star Wars.
8th grade.
You hope Luke Skywalker meets up with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
While they're gone,
Okay.
stormtroopers raid Luke Skywalker's house and kill his aunt and uncle.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but you know that ain't never happened. You know that ain't happened. Like, that's a bad example. Give me another example, because they ain't killed Luke Skywalker. I watched Star Wars. They ain't do that. So give me a better
They
example.
killed his uncle and his aunt.
They killed his uncle and his aunt.
Yeah,
Who
they
did that?
left the charred remains.
Because I'm pretty
For
sure
Luke
Darth Vader didn't have no
Skywalker.
brothers. He's the only child. Darth Vader's the only child, so he didn't have no uncles. So what are you talking about?
Luke Skywalker is definitely not an only child. He is a twin.
I
He
said
has a
Darth
sister
Vader. In order for Luke to have an uncle,
twin.
in order for Luke to have an uncle, that means his dad has siblings. His dad don't got siblings, so what uncle?
But his mother married a dude.
Married
And
Darth Vader.
that dude had a brother.
Yeah, the prince. Yeah, the prince
So
that hit
Luke
him. Yeah.
Skywalker is actually living with his step uncle and step aunt.
Okay,
Let me
your
make one
point.
more comment before I go, if you don't mind.
Oh well, because you brought up fiction. You brought up
Romero, sorry
the
to
New
interrupt.
Testament,
No,
so
no.
I figured
You said it's
I'd bring
fiction,
up my
so
own fiction.
okay, that's cool. I understand that. I understand. Fiction versus
Hold on,
fiction.
I want to make one more comment before I go. So Amir, the reason we're saying that, I think if you read the Quran, I'm sure you have.
You want to bring up fiction?
There is not one thing of single value in it that has not been said before, written before, taught before.
Okay, so can we try
That's
that out?
number one. Let me just finish. Second, and not only that, again, there's nothing in it. There is nothing new in it, but it is full of menacing ideas of the fatwa, the Sharia laws, the child marriages, and the rest of it. So even if you look at it this way, there's nothing divine about this. absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, it tells you it's absolutely man-made and is made in a horrifically bad way. There's nothing new in this book again.
Okay, so now I respond.
So that is the reason that I'm telling you, this man.
Brother, I read the Quran.
He's still talking
a lot of
here.
times.
I think Muhammad made.
You asking me if you read the Quran, I've already read it.
And he's literally.
And what you're saying is completely inaccurate. I can prove this to you. I can prove the difference between what I'm saying is that I'm willing to show you the evidence. I'm willing to show you the evidence,
So
right?
you don't care.
To show that all the things that you're saying is
So we can
people who
interrupt you
don't
then.
read. You're saying all this stuff that don't read, right? But if anyone reads the Quran, they will have a different take. That's why Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world.
Amir, if you feel like you can interrupt Ali, then we can interrupt you.
I didn't
No, you
interrupt
can't,
him.
Romeo. Shut your ass up. It's between
He was
us.
finished.
Shut your ass up.
No, he wasn't. He
Shut
was
your
literally
ass up.
still talking.
Romeo, shut up. It's between them.
You want
Nigga,
to
shut
be
up.
treated that way. I mean, I know that we wants to be manhandled the way he feels like he's manhandling me. You listen to how I ignore him because he's just like a child with an 8th grade education.
Yeah, exactly. But shut your ass up. Respect. It's between
No,
them.
but I have no respect for you.
You
I have
don't
no respect
me.
for you, and I've lost my respect for Amir. Now what?
Nothing. You don't live where I live at. You good.
Well, of course I don't live where you live at.
Exactly.
Where do you live? Ohio?
I could be in Lorraine if you want me to.
In the mean streets of Ohio?
I could be in Lorraine if you want me to. Is that where you from? Youngstown, Columbus, what? I could be in Lorraine if you want me to.
Could you? Could you take a bus?
Bus, airplane, whatever you call it. Magic carpet, whatever you want. Yeah, I don't got a passport.
I just wanted to respond to Ali, really. You know, Ali, if you finish, if you want to go ahead and finish, because I know I interrupted you.
Yes.
Okay, so now you said that the things in Quran, man had knowledge of them before Muhammad had knowledge of them, before it was revealed to Muhammad, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So when did man have what was man's knowledge regarding the universe or the solar system?
Okay, that's another thing. Again, I forgot to tell you, the scientific claim in Quran is nonsense. Okay.
Brother, I just asked you a question. It's like I'm asking you a question, bro, and you're going into the Quran.
No.
Why are you being disrespectful?
Let me just.
No, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm asking you a question, and you're going into the Quran. Can you answer my question? We're having a dialogue. If you ask me a question, I'm answering your question, not me going into something else.
The way you answer, and Ali answers the way he does. Why are you being so disrespectful?
You're not going to answer the question.
He's literally in the process of answering your question.
No, he's not going to answer the question because he knows he can't answer that question.
Why do you feel the need to act like a child?
No, I asked him to answer the question.
Are you a grown-up? Are you a grown man? Because right now you're acting like a child. Do you want to be treated like a child?
Would you shut up?
In a timeout?
Would you just shut up, bro?
All right, go stand in the corner, Amir. Go think about what you did wrong and then come back.
Shut up. By talking to you.
Is that how you talk to your teachers?
Yeah.
Does the Quran teach you to be so disrespectful?
That's disrespectful telling you to shut up?
Yes.
Why is it disrespectful when you're in
because you're acting like
something that when I wasn't even talking to you? Why?
Because you're being extremely disrespectful to the group.
No. You're just going inside because you're an atheist.
Now you're acting
No, you're just on inside because you're an atheist. That's it.
Oh, no, it's because I'm an atheist that I know more than you do. Oh, man.
You don't know
That's
anything.
so rough for you.
Yeah. No, it's rough for you to think that
That's
your
so
life
hard
is just,
for
you
you.
just walking the earth. No one
day.
puts you here. There's no purpose of you for your existence. You're just
what
walking the earth and then you die. And no matter what you do on earth, even if you escape the courts of the land, there would be no kind of punishment for you or anything, right? That's your ideology, right?
Amir, let me ask you a question. Amir, is it okay for a grown man to have sex with a 9-year-old?
Yeah, we don't need to do that either. So, Amir, when you say...
Is that morally correct, Amir, to have sex with a 9-year-old? Because you're homeboy.
It would depend on what time you're in.
Oh,
So, Amir.
Because apparently back then they had wives very young. That's the way it was, bro.
Amir, how does the time difference make a 9-year-old be more mature?
Let me think. My grandmother got married at 11. Would I want that for my daughter? No. Why? Well, it's a different time.
Was it right then?
It was a different. It was right for her.
That's not an answer. That's not an answer.
That's
not an answer.
Was it really?
That's not an
It was
answer.
normal
That's
for
not
her.
an answer.
It was
That's not an
normal,
answer. That's
brother.
not an answer. That's not
If
an
the
answer.
age was a different age, if it's normal, the
That's not an
society
answer
is
to my.
normal, bro.
That's not an answer to
You
my
can't
question.
come later on and
That's
say,
not an
well,
answer
this
to
is
my
not
question.
normal.
How does a 9-year-old be more biological mature back then than a 9-year-old now? You didn't answer my question.
I don't know how.
Okay, thank you.
I guess it would be the
Thank
environment.
Thank you.
I guess it would be the environment, the circumstances,
Don't guess.
things like that would make a child older.
Don't guess.
Just don't.
Your first answer was correct.
I'm telling you, I'm being sarcastic with you, stupid. I'm saying,
I'm stupid.
else would make the child older in those times than now. You know the answer.
Ignorance.
You know the answer.
Remember, he had to wait 3 years. What did he have to wait 3 years for, Muhammad? Amir, what did Muhammad have to wait 3 years for?
What we talking about? We talking about the Quran.
Also, Amir, your grandmother was raped.
So y'all want to skip the Quran, right?
Amir,
you want to.
I'll read the Quran with you.
Every time people would talk to me about Islam,
what did Muhammad
it's
have to
always
wait 3
going
years
back
for?
to Muhammad's marriage, and it just kind of like, well,
I usually stick with Surah 2. I usually stick in Surah 2.
Well, I mean, Aisha is the one he married, right? He didn't marry you. He didn't marry none of you, right?
Right, he married a little girl he had to wait 3 years
for.
Aisha
Aisha was who was a scholar.
Yeah.
A scholar as a woman, right?
Cool.
Don't know no little girls that a grown man deals with.
Why did Muhammad have to wait 3 years? What was he waiting for?
So obviously it was normal.
Hey, Amir, what was Muhammad waiting 3 years for? Do you have an answer to that?
Now I'm ready to go back to the
You don't have an answer to that, do you,
liar? No, I don't have to. No, I'm not.
Yeah, because you're fucking full of shit. Because you're fucking full of shit, bro.
You don't want to deal with the God talk.
Oh, I do.
Amir.
I do.
You don't want to deal with that talk.
I just don't think you're capable.
Amir, I have to
You guys sound dumb. Like you act like.
Amir.
Let me ask you this: in this country,
can you hear me?
The age of marriage in this country in the 1800s. What was the age of marriage in this country, honey?
I'm gonna do it so calm.
What was the age of marriage?
Too young.
Amir.
In this country, I'm talking about this country.
Too young. It was too young.
Taken advantage of.
Okay, so now okay. What?
Are you just saying just because other people do bad stuff that that's okay too for you?
You said it was too young.
The pedophile
Based on who?
Was a monster.
Based on who, honey?
Based on what we know about human psychology and sexual maturity.
So the people in the 1800s in this country, they was all committing wrong.
Yeah.
Well, now that's how we would see it now. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Don't you see marrying a little girl at 6 was wrong back now?
Now.
Yeah, now. Okay.
How it was back in the 1800s.
Yeah, but why did God have to work within the parameters of the time?
Because society is different now. It's different.
Yeah, but why does it matter to God?
But you're saying, but it's crazy that you guys are saying.
No, you're just not following or being honest.
It was too young. You said it was too young in this country, right?
Hey, Honey Badger.
Yeah, he just doesn't get this, dude. This guy's just a motivated
Hey, Honey
reasoner.
Badger, I have a question for you. In the year 1800, would you have married a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Amir, in 1800, would you have married a 6-year-old?
I can't speak on that.
You can't just say no.
I'm gonna speak on something that if I'm not in that time frame, I don't know what's normal in that time frame.
In the year 1800, if we transported you back in time with a time machine,
I'm not gonna answer a question like that.
Would you marry?
I'm not gonna answer a question like that.
6-year-old?
Because
I would not. You're right on that.
I'm not even answer a question like that. Because
why?
Because my answer is for today. Right? You're gonna do that answer based off of today.
Just answer from today.
In the 1800s, and
Just
that's how you're
answer from
gonna set
today.
me up. I'm not
Well,
going
you
with that.
don't want to mess up and say the wrong thing. Is that right?
No, I'm just saying that in the 1800s, in the country, if women were getting married,
So then you would. So then just say yes. Then just say yes.
People of the society,
just say
if the
yes.
people of society deemed
You're
it to be
just
okay.
dishonest person,
I mean, what
Hey,
can
Amir.
I say? I mean,
Ask me the question. Amir, ask me the question.
I'm still here believing in God, so you can say anything.
If you went back in time, Romeo?
No, I would not marry a 6-year-old if I went back in time. No, absolutely not.
You can say that. You can even say it. Because you wouldn't think the same if you were born in the 1800s.
If I was
the
born
norm
in
of
the
that
1800s,
society,
I would not.
bro. Like today, you probably deal with a boy. You probably deal with a boy, right? Because it's probably norm for you to deal with a boy, right? Because America says it's good for you. It's okay for you to deal with men, right?
Morally reprehensible.
Are you just telling us you're gay, Amir? Like most Muslim guys?
My girl had a period. She was considered a
Are you
woman.
just admitting that you're a gay man?
They did.
No, I'm saying it's your secular law that says that. Understand?
It sounds like, well, you brought it up. It just seems like you're focused on gay shit.
For the whole of I just want everyone to know that
focus on gay stuff. Who said that? I said that
we
just
are-
last today. Romeo probably deal with a boy, and he would think that that is okay. Right? Romeo?
I'm not Muslim. I don't do that.
You think it's okay, right, Romeo? Romeo. No. I follow Quran. The Christian will follow the Bible. A Jew will follow the Torah. But Romeo, you go by secular law. So do you think that homosexuality is okay?
His name is Romero.
No, his name is Romeo.
Romero. Do you think that is okay for a man to mess with a man?
If they're adults, yes.
What happened, Ravioli?
So you deem it okay for a man to go into another man? Don't talk.
If they're adults, yes.
Yeah, don't talk.
He is focused on gay shit.
Because I told you he was a homo. I knew you was
His name is Honey. His name is Honey.
Just remember, here, you admitted to being a pedophile. So I really don't care what you have to say.
I didn't anything about. First off, pedophile is a sickness.
Yes, you
First off,
boldly said it, Amir.
It's a sickness, and secondly, in the time of Muhammad, such thing.
Amir, when you said
That's
you would
secondly.
See how dumb Muslims just do this to rooms?
When you said you'd marry a 6-year-old, that makes
I
you
never said that.
Yes, you did.
I'm not answering your question.
Yes, you ignorant.
you
dog.
I'm not going to answer your question.
You're about as smart as both gumbo.
And then we...
And all respect Amir, it does say that in the Quran. He married a 9-year-old. She wasn't 6, she was 9.
So did
Oh, wow, Amir. Oh,
they
wow,
married at 6, and why did Muhammad have to wait?
It's amazing that a dude up here is telling us that he is okay for a man to go into a man. He okays that. That's what I'm telling you about subjective morality. He thinks it's okay because he does it. He's smart to deal with men, so he thinks it's okay because he says no. And that's morally correct.
Definitely gay.
Consenting adults are always morally correct. Consenting
I hate not having
always morally correct.
Hell no.
Rooms like this.
You know why it's not correct? You know why it's not correct?
Are you
Because
a
two men,
rapist?
listen, 2 men.
Are you
what do they create?
against? Are
What do
you
they create?
against
2 men.
people?
Yeah, me again. 2 men, what do they create?
There's a huge difference between consenting adults and 6-year-olds.
Do you
No,
believe in
there's a big
consent?
difference.
Conversation is
Hey, 8th grade boy, it's time for dinner. Your mom
We can't do that. 2 men, what do they create? 2 men.
Money.
Oh,
Family.
money. Yeah, money. 2 women.
Money, family,
2 women,
love.
what do they create? 2 women, what do they
create
create?
cars, they create safe households.
Well, you know what they don't create? They don't create life.
furniture.
They don't create life.
Do you
2
think
men
that
don't
women
create life.
spontaneously get pregnant?
Muslims are fucking not all. Amir, you're the fucking biggest piece of trash. You refuse to answer anyone's questions, and yet you demand answers.
He sounds like a shit.
Oh shit, there's Jay again. The white European man who writes nigger on his PTR because he doesn't dare do it in public.
So, but James, just remember that
I'll say
everything I
nigga
do
to your face. How about that, buddy?
James, everything I do. James, listen to me. James, focus on me.
Yeah.
Just forget about Jay. Focus on me. Everything I do is to give these people the rope for them to hang themselves.
And you do it
Right?
well.
Same with Jay. I will let Jay talk because the more he talks, the more awful he sounds to
Yeah, so
everybody
he's
else.
the guy that wants, to abort his grandchildren,
Wow,
Make
when
sure you
did
get those
Romero
black
ever
babies
say
out
that?
of your grandchildren,
Romero ever
Listen to
say
Jay.
you want? Wow.
Listen to how awful Jay is.
He is. He's a piece of shit.
And now he's spazzing out. So just remember, everything I
I'm
do
laughing
is
at
to
you.
embarrass
You
these
sound like a gay
even more.
Einstein.
You have integrity,
Embarrass
Romero.
yourself.
That's why I respect you. You got integrity. You're a good, fair man. I like listening to you. Jay is a piece of shit.
Oh, you're gonna suck his dick now? Gonna give him the
Gangster. He pretends to be gangster. He comes in the rooms like he got bored. But in real life, when he goes to school, his lunch money gets taken. That's
In
why
real
he's
life,
not
I got
there.
a Glock, dude, with hollow points on it.
What a Glock. I'll shut that Glock up your ass. What about that?
I'm so tired.
Oh, excuse me, he's got a Glock. He's got a Glock. A Glock ain't
Like,
shit.
stupid, man. Like, you babble like a little kid.
But
You
just let Jay
probably-
talk. Like, the more he talks, the more he hangs himself. The more he becomes a desperate, lonely little boy. And
Yep.
everybody knows it.
Yep. And you know why he's lonely? Because he doesn't know how to approach women, and Viagra doesn't work for him either. That's why he's lonely. No woman would touch you. The last woman to look at you was in the hospital, the nurse that gave birth to you, that birthed your mother.
Listen, you must praise Allah. Praise the mighty
No,
Allah.
I'm not a Muslim. I've never said I'm a Muslim. Making vacuous claims about shit you don't know.
Dude, you need to relax and learn how to joke, man.
No, I don't joke with you. You know what I'd like to see? I would like to see you get bumped by a bus. That's what I would like to see. I don't like you.
The almighty
I
Allah.
don't like you. Yeah, and you pray to your God. You know, the one that raped Mary. God impregnated Mary without her prior consent. God raped Mary. That's why you see us like, fuck, you love rapists, you piece of shit. Having sex with a small little child, a pelvis isn't fully formed. And why do you have sex with a child? Because you got no game. Other women don't want you.
I don't think he's a real Muslim there, James. So.
He isn't a real anything. He told me he's white
You can't
European.
make this stuff up, man. This is why
He told me he's white European, and yet he sounds like a Mexican. Typical.
Why you got a problem with Mexicans?
He's something that you are not. I don't have a problem with. I love all people, black, white, green, yellow. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Do you
Hang
love
on a second.
Muslims too?
Hang on a
Yes,
second.
I
Let me talk to B. Hang on a second. So we, I brought you up. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to give something to talk about, or you will. Be
I said I started this whole thing. What are you talking about? Well, you got the room now, JT?
What do you want to talk about,
Let's go back to how this whole thing started. Before Amir even chipped in, he came in to everything I was talking about.
Okay, what do
you believe in?
What do I believe in? Things that can.
Yeah, remember I started with the Big Bang, right? And you said yes. So let's take it step by step.
So you asked me, what do I believe in, right? I believe in things that comport with reality. Now what? I muted your dumb ass. You can unmute and answer me. I believe in things that comport with reality. Now what, You know what, you 8th grade little dumb fuck. Bye-bye.
I mean, you come onto stage not to talk. What the fuck is that?
You must go around the Kaaba in Mecca and kiss the black stone.
Oh, you're gonna give me a blowjob. And after, that's what must happen. That's, I mean, who do you think you are yourself, the end guy? Would you say that in real life? Of course you wouldn't, because
Yeah,
you
I
don't
went to
have the balls
Nagalot.
to do that.
That's how it's spelled.
Because you know you would get fucked up. You get fucked up. You know that. Go, write that on a t-shirt and walk through the ghetto and see what happens. You won't even make it a minute. Exactly. That's why you be quiet. You know it. All the things I say in Clubhouse, I say to people in real life. I even say it to cops. You know, I don't give a fuck. I'm not scared of anyone. You pretend not to be scared. That's the difference. I'm a white European who lives in North America. Why did you pretend to be white? Tell me why you pretended to be white.
Allah.
Why did you pretend to be white?
You must praise Allah.
You're a self-hating Latino. That's how fucking pitiful you are.
Wow, now he's Latino?
Well, I mean, he's fucking claiming to be. So I'm going along with it.
Oh, well.
I've never claimed to be anything that I'm not. I've never lied about my heritage. I've never lied where I was born. I'm proud of both of my parents.
Yeah, he's a clown.
Jimmy doing work.
Yes, this is true. You don't mess with the clown, you get a pie in the face.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, stop using your phone. You're just getting boring.
We
just laugh.
So, kid Bella.
You need to smoke the devil's lettuce, man. Chill out a little bit. Live a
I'm
little.
high as fuck. I smoked some devil's hash. So there you go.
Nice brother. Nice brother.
Don't call him a brother. He's not your brother, you piece of shit.
He's my brother in the cabbage. Yes, we are. We are cabbage brother.
The kid Bello, are you a God believer?
Nothing.
Hello, kid Bello. What do you know? Do you believe that the God exists? Is there a God according to you?
It's amazing.
Oh well, fun times. Hope, come on up, Hope. Good Hope. You God believer, Hope?
Amen.
Right on. What makes God? What convinced you that the God? Do you think? What makes you believe God? How about that?
Wish I was.
Well, I think JCC,
Wish I
you
was.
have marvelous long
Wish I
hair
was
like yourself.
tasting with you.
So how could I not believe?
Right on. So you call me a God?
Why not?
Okay, cool. Why did you change your name?
Wish there was
Oh,
tasting
you know,
with you.
clubhouse
When
witness
you was
protection,
eating.
bit of clubhouse fatigue.
Oh, all the trees are.
You know how these things go.
That's funny as fuck.
The trees are.
You doing well though? Hello, Romero, my darling. I miss your voice. I've been having a little break.
No, it's necessary. Like the last few days, I've been feeling very, not like discouraged, but just like extremely disappointed in participants on this app. And like Jay is a perfect example, right? Like I never once had like high hopes for him, but like my level of, I guess, apathy has just exponentially grown for him. Because it's like, well, like what does he do? What's the point of him? Anyway, you say I don't give a shit about your opinion. You don't pay my bills. You do. That's why I want to hear about your fucking.
Yes, you do. That's why you come onto stages where you're not wanted. Because nobody else wants to talk to you. That's why you come here. Other rooms, when you go on stage, they boot you from the room instantaneously.
Anyway, Romero, so I've come back with hope, and we'll.
You Enigma, no, it is.
No, I was Lula before James. We have spoken.
Yeah, you know, your accent reminds me of Enigma. Not only the accent, but the eloquence of which you deploy the English language.
Oh, well,
Kudos, man.
I will take that as a compliment. Thank you.
It is meant as a compliment.
Voices.
Hello. Would you like a bedtime story?
Yes. Pretty please.
Let me get my PJs on.
Maybe later. I've only just got out of the shower. Ooh.
Ooh, wait.
Party pooper.
Fresh and clean. I love it.
Wow.
Something funny.
Go on.
Right, so this is a little bit of a TMI, but it is quite funny. So last night, so I always have a shower just before bed. It's like 3:30 in the morning now, hence I just had a shower. Last night, so I'm not going too cringe, I promise, or too X-rated. I was taking off my clothes and I took off my bra and I went, oh my god,
my nipples changed position. What the fuck has happened? Turned out, wasn't that at all? It was a peanut in my bra. Oh, panic over. Literally was like,
Oh, that's hilarious. That was a close one there. I'm glad everything worked out.
Thank you. I was like, I don't know how that got there, but I'm glad my nipple has not moved or I haven't grown a third one.
You didn't
feel a peanut in your bra? I didn't know. I am very tired though. I did try and fake with my pen yesterday.
Wishes I was
so I think
tasting with you as I was eating.
it was one of those days I did laugh my head off then. I was like, no one's in. So I've told everyone I can today because I have no
Grace.
Oh, Jay left. That's a shame. I'll miss him so much.
Why do you want to know my hourly rate? I guess I want to know where my $18,000 is going. Does that mean if I work less hours, I should charge you less?
Wow.
Yeah. So if I go over those hours, I should charge you more. Really? Yeah. Okay.
He says to people.
To be fair, he's a contributing factor to my need for Clubhouse.
By superhydration body wash.
What did he do? I'll go for his house. If you don't mind me asking.
No, he was just being him, and he was causing a problem, and it created a vibe in a room that then just kind of went left. And I was accountable to an extent as well.
Oh, it's really German.
But yeah, it was sort of his.
Amazing gelato.
He can change a vibe,
Wishes,
based on how he moves and behaves. So.
He doesn't build anything. He loves to blow shit up wherever he goes. If you notice, the room's always stage and everything gets derailed.
Well, yeah, but that's the only way he feels powerful is by making people angry, and then all of the attention in the room is on him, right? If you just like berate him a little bit and then ignore him for the rest of the night, like it gets through.
A wise man, Romero.
But actually burning down nearly, half of the most expensive LA property is a much better payout. And then you're just going to jail for 10 years or maybe less because this is how you can make sure that your hands are nowhere near that disaster. How many billions of dollars in damages is that? How many?
And a plea deal that faces possible 10 years is not a very good plea deal. So,
Well, it would be a federal crime. So it would be federal crime.
We don't know what else he was being. We don't know what else he was what else was on the table for the prosecutor.
That's my point.
Maybe he gave things up. You don't know.
But so my point, Walter, is exactly this: federal crimes, murder, because people died. Look at the fires and everything. That's domestic terrorism. I would sign a plea deal if I tell you who I was involved with, the Nation of Islam, who set up this thing with Al Qaeda, blah blah blah. The next morning.
That's what my point is. Yeah, that's what my point is. If he gave people up, maybe.
I think there's more to the story. I say keep digging on this one. This is.
In the bodies, like you think I'll just pretend to do a funeral for these people?
I mean, we never said if there might be bodies. We never said there wasn't bodies.
Yeah, we just said that
we know you sick fucks are willing to sacrifice your own to push a narrative.
Yeah, but it's the most ridiculously low IQ comment that no one's seen the bodies. Like, how dumb are you?
What do you mean? There's plenty of mass shootings. As a matter of fact, there was ones this year where we could see the dead bodies on the ground in social media videos and on different news articles that ended up getting posted after it. Like the one dude with the flag that drove into the crowd. We saw the dead bodies and the carnage after the fact. This was only a few months ago. So this idea that a weird argument to make that there's
I would never call the
because there's no
president.
dead
We don't
bodies.
ask for monetary advice. We don't give
I think you
congressional
even know that that's
fiscal
intellectually
advice.
dishonest. Like, yeah, it's weird that there's no dead bodies. We
It's actually
see it all the time.
argument.
We
I wouldn't just say
see
that it's
covered. We see
almost
covered.
a little bit obvious.
We see covered and chalked bodies all the time whenever there's mass casualties. I'd actually wager to say that you generally see at least one of the dead bodies during one of these incidences. So yeah, it is weird that there isn't any pictures of any of them
really
anywhere.
suspicious, and
Well, I have the view going. Look at the Kabbalah magic. It's insane. All right, I'm gonna have to stop it and run it. Oh wait, did it get him? I don't know. It's the Kabbalah magic gives you an extra few seconds, I guess. I don't know. All right, Yossi, you can go ahead and respond, and then maybe I'll respond. Probably not though, and then we're gonna keep running these hands down.
Yeah. So do you think that the people who were killed were not really killed, or do you think that they were killed but their bodies somehow disappeared?
I mean, I don't know. I think that whether or not it was a false flag, this detail specifically isn't that pertinent. It would be if we knew that the Jews didn't, if we knew that they had a problem with killing their own in order to perpetuate false flags, but we know that they don't have a problem with that. So,
right. So
it doesn't matter too much. In my opinion,
whether or not you think that they were killed, or you think that they're just pretending that these people were killed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a statement on which one of those I'm with yet. I think that it could go either way, but I think that if you did a little research into the background of the people that were killed, which I haven't done, right, then you'd probably be able to get your answer for that. I mean, I think it's likely that people were killed, right? I think that this is a better story for the Israeli intelligence to tell. It would be better to kill their own if you want to get this idea across as plausible.
The relevance of the bodies then, if they were probably killed.
What do you mean, what's the relevance of the bodies then if they were probably killed?
Why would they need it? If it was a false flag, why would there be no bodies? It'd be better in that case, it'd be better for there to be bodies, right? Obviously.
Well, not necessarily. It depends on what way they were killed. It depends on whether or not the bodies...
Dominating that. Dominate. Grounds up.
It would be way better if it was a false flag for there to be bodies, and also if it was a murderer just killing Jews, it would also be way better if there were bodies, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that, but that doesn't preclude the option where they didn't kill anyone at all. Like, it would be better, but I don't know what the intention of this really is.
You still are going to hang on to the idea that there are these two people who were announced dead, but they're either pretend people, and they're going to now have funerals for pretend people, and all the family members are going to pretend to be sad about these imaginary people, and the alternative is that they are in hiding and pretending to be dead, and then they're going to do all of that.
I don't know what your line of questioning here is, Yossi. I already said that I give more plausibility. All right, I'll go ahead and just do that then. I've already said, and again, I know you don't have very good listening skills. Maybe it's the comprehension or a combination of both. I don't really know. But I already said that I take the more plausible avenue and that there is actually two dead people, right? This is not a solid stance that I have. It could be easily swayed by just a little bit more lack of evidence of some things like bodies and see what the funerals look like, et cetera, et cetera. But I tend to go with that option as well. So we're not even disagreeing here. But because one is more plausible than the other doesn't mean the other one is impossible somehow. So I don't know. I mean, that kind of puts this argument to bed here. I don't see there's much. I mean, I agree with you. I think it's more likely that there is actually two dead people. But this doesn't mean that they didn't go into a full false flag. This is an option that's on the table. And there's a bunch of reasons.
When we were discussing this, you weren't saying to everyone else, I reckon it's much more likely that there are bodies. you seem to be coming from the angle about, well, actually, we're actually not sure about whether or not there are bodies, and you're actually trying to push the idea that there maybe were bodies. I didn't hear anyone.
That was me, and Yossi, that was me, and I'm just saying I need to see photographs of these bodies to say there was bodies.
No one was pushing.
I'm not picking either side.
Yeah. It's a valid thing that you raised there.
And if these people did actually get killed, like, prayers to them and their families, like, but I'm just saying, I would like to see some, I would like to see some photographs, and this whole story seems fishy.
Your question here, Yossi, is like, why don't we push the narrative? Why don't we, try to push the narrative that is more beneficial for, the Jewish people, or the more positive narrative? Well, the fact of the matter is,
logical and not conspiracy theorists.
it's not even. We already gave you the ground that it is a more logical answer to have the idea that there is 2 dead bodies, of which nobody made any concrete assertions that they think that there isn't any bodies at all. Everyone that said that there might not be bodies said specifically that they might not be bodies, and that there might not be bodies.
No one pushed back on the idea that there might not be bodies until I came into the picture.
Everyone sees that logically it's completely possible. So what is there to push back on? Everyone has a degree of common sense here, unlike yourself, Yossi, where most people, I think, are automatically assuming the most likely option.
I think that you have to say there's the likelihood.
Yeah, this is insane. Yes, Yossi, I'll break it down really easy for you, just like Truth Teller or Real Truther did. Okay, we'll do it with numbers because I know that you guys like your numbers. Okay, so if it was a 1% chance that there are no bodies, it's not worth talking about. If it's a 2% chance, it's not worth talking about. In this case, it's like a 30% chance that there are no bodies, and this is a complete false flag. They're doing they're being real Jewy on this one. Somewhere in the realm, I'd say, of about 20 to 30%. The other 70 to 80% is that there are 2 dead bodies. It's probably still a false flag, but again, they've got no problem killing their own, and again, it would be more beneficial for them, even under the false flag narrative. But if the percentage is as high as 20 or 30%, that there's a possibility that there are no dead bodies, and the reason it's that high is because there are things like no pictures of the bodies, for example, then it's a reasonable conversation to have. I don't think that we need to run the mill on the most logical sort of answer, especially when we've already said that it is the most logical answer. But the grains of salt that should be analyzed here are the ones where we don't have any pictures of the bodies, for example, which gives total credence to the idea that there might not be any to be had in the first place. So I don't know exactly where you're going with this here.
Right, so where I'm going with it, first of all, you say like a 20 to 30% chance. So, I mean, even if it is, let's go with that number just for as we say, shits and giggles in Australia. So you'd probably hear someone say, let's say something's like a...
Yossi. All right, we have a lot of hands, we have a lot of requests. I'm sorry to cut you short.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm under the impression that it's false flag. I don't want to speak for anyone else. I want to see the bodies, and that's it. Now we're going to start talking about it. Everything else is just a distraction. That's the only point we're coming across. If there's bodies or not, either way, it's a false flag, in my opinion. Country Bumpkin, you've been waiting forever, brother. Go ahead. Country Bumpkin, you with us?
Yeah, just for a minute. I was, sorry. I want to run just a couple things real quick. It applies to everything. It applies to nature as it applies to financial. We're not allowed to we're not allowed to cut down all the trees without planting more trees. We're not allowed to fish all the fish out of the ocean without replenishing the ocean. Usury is against the Father, God, and nature, his creation. So usury blankets everything. And the other point about the Holocaust, I agree with Juicy Josie. I don't know what his name is. I can't look at my phone right now. There was a Holocaust happened during World War II. It was the firebombing of Dresden, of innocent women and children and elderly men that were not in the fight, that had no way of fighting back, and they were burned to death over a course of a weekend. That was your Holocaust, your burnt offering. I landed.
Yeah, agreed. I appreciate it, man. Who's next? Jay Carter, I believe. Yeah, Jay Carter. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was spot on with the Dresden thing. That's an actual Holocaust. know, they totally did that to us. But yeah, for Yoshi, I feel bad. He's kind of getting wrecked here tonight. So Yoshi dominating the headlines today. President Trump's massive tax and spending bill, which has passed the House of Representatives, and the prediction is. And I'll land it there for now.
I removed him. He's not even here to respond. We have a lot of requests coming in, so he had to be the first to go. The Jews are the first ones off the stage. They should be, in my opinion. Ethan, go ahead.
Yeah, hey guys. Hey, Rich, I've been waiting a while, so I'm gonna change. I'll have to be shorter now. But the one comment I had on the loan lending is the word mortgage comes from French and it means death cage. So when we were young and we played Monopoly, remember you turn the card over to mortgage it after you bought it. So really should be buying without borrowing and then and then not paying any interest at all. But and that's all on that shooting. Hey, yeah, I think so. False flag, but the vitriol and the venom comes out in full force as soon as something like that. And then so I made the comment in on their Facebook pages that if this was to happen to any other two people, it wouldn't be a big deal. It wouldn't be racist, religious. Oh my God! But if it's two Jews, it's like holy off the freaking cart, and everything's all it's the end of the world. So. And then as far as I'm just trying to become a big content. If it's the false flag part, please don't see the bodies. They've been doing this a long time, and think back to all the shootings and all the weird things that have happened like that. And the bodies don't. A lot of times you don't see them at all, and there's been a lot of shootings, false flags, mass shootings, whatever, where I haven't seen anybody. Didn't get to see any bodies. And I actually had a conversation on terrestrial radio with a decorated military person, and I asked him. I said, "Why don't we see the bodies?" And he said, "Because they bring them out at night." I didn't even get a chance to respond. I don't think I responded because whatever reason. But I thought, oh really? What's up with that? And so there. And if you remember the Sandy Hook, there was a section in there where there was a helicopter was falling over. And if you looked at the fire garage, the people were circling in and out of the garage like they were on like zombies going around in circles to make it look busy or whatever. Which doesn't prove anything. It just looks. If that was part of the whole thing, then you gotta think how many people are involved in these things. How many undercover? So if two people go missing in a supposed shooting and their bodies aren't found, well, they probably move them into some undercover situations. And they're never heard from again. They change the names. Blah blah blah. The families get the wink wink nod nod. Yeah move on. Boo hoo whatever. And but if it's real, yes, it's very sad, tragic, of course. And I didn't allude to the false flag thing on Facebook because it's just too risky. People just get too upset. But yeah, I think that it was definitely something to get people riled up at the rate time for some reason. Probably we'll find out what that reason will be. But anyway, guys, I appreciate the mic. Christian, you have a nice evening.
Wake up from a nap.
No, I'm actually in bed. While I was on hold, you guys, I brushed my teeth, did my laundry, changed the sheets, and now I'm lying in bed. Like it's my bedtime.
Alright, well, you better have PJs on, Ethan. I don't want you in bed listening to us in your intimates, okay? You better be being a good Christian boy, alright?
Yeah, I got my PJs on. Sure. Alright, everyone. It's all good now. It's all kosher now, right?
What color are they?
You guys are so pathetic. 2 innocent people got murdered by some piece of shit, and you're saying, if they weren't Jewish, it wouldn't be in the news. If it's not Jews, it ain't news.
I'm only going
It's
too smart for 30
sickening.
seconds. 30 seconds, get it all out.
Listen, you guys just project your own bullshit. I'm the mirror here to tell you that you're all fucking losers spamming. You're just communication spamming. It's just diarrhea farts out your mouths. And basically, it's it's a lack of education. You guys are fucking pathetic. Go to the gym, read a book. If you're such great Christians, go do some good things in the world. But I mean, all your shitting on innocent people who get murdered by fucking communist, socialist, jihadist pieces of shit. You guys are fucking on the wrong side of history. You're pathetic. So stop your hypnosis, stop your spam, and stop your projection. It's bullshit.
It's definitely the other side where they're bombing children and, absolutely desecrating entire populations. And let's not even get into the whole debt and everything like that. As far as go to the gym goes, let me look at you real quick. Maybe we can go to the gym together, okay? You certainly need that. You're one of these multicultural, I travel to all these, you were a Zogbot too. Find out. Maybe you're lashing out, and Grim, you're the ex-military guy here. Is this one of these guys that's lashing out because he can't accept the truth that his service was to a country like Israel, and that he that he did the wrong thing and didn't even realize while he was doing it, and now he's kind of lashing out and calling everybody else a liar because he can't cope with the fucking fact that perhaps he was on the wrong side.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty prime example. Either that, or maybe he went to a few training operations with IDF and they have blackmail on him. Not really sure.
No, there's no blackmail, and you're ridiculous. And I'm proud of my service. And if you served in the infantry, you'd be proud of America too.
No, listen to it. You have to answer questions, right? So when you're spoken to, all right, this is a social convention that you should follow, right? You need to answer, right? Engage in a regular conversation, just kvetching and letting. Let's try to go with the American side. First of all, let's just go with this. Are you a Jew? Let's start there. You are kvetching like a Jew.
My father's Jewish and my mother's gorgeous. I'm a cashew.
My mother was a Jew, my father was a Jew, and they worked in the diamond district in New York, and we gave out lots of loans, but we had great interest rates. We're not like
The point is, you're the racist that you're criticizing the Jews of being a racist. You're actually the racist.
Still celebrate Hanukkah together. We've always been tight-knit. You need to follow the example of us Jews who are we promote such good family values.
Listen, the point is, if you love America, you'll do what you can do for America, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but go to the gym and read a good book, fatty.
I don't even want it to be. What's good for the Jews? Americans.
Could you imagine every day the rest of your life you're going to open up the Jewish Question radio, and then after 20 years of doing this, you're going to be like, well, what did I accomplish? I spammed everybody for years. And my spam got me nowhere because it's low IQ, stupid communication, and therefore you create JQ radio every night of the week. I mean, when is, Dan Bilzerian going to come on the show, and when is Cobra Tate coming on the show?
All right, I want to level with you, Doge. All right, I want to know, I want to get to know you, you know what I mean? I know you're a Jew, so it's a little... I don't want to get
I'm not a Jew. My mother's not Jewish, and they killed one of the best of our Mishlings and our patrilineal Jews.
He can keep
going. That's how you know, dude. You know, it used to be a meme, Doge, right? Like, it used to be kind of a meme around here that, like, Jews can talk through the mute. But I don't know, bro. I'm gonna be serious. I really don't know. All right? Maybe we gotta run an experiment because it's fucking crazy sometimes. But anyways, what's up with the African tribal shirt thing going on there? What is that? Is that, like, some sort of, what do we got? Some sort of Indian stuff for Africa? Explain the shirt.
That's a $9.99. What do they call it? I bought it on Amazon. It's one of those.
You bought it on Canal Street from the fucking Africans down there, yeah. Oh no, we're losing Doge. God damn it.
Damn, actually, I was just gonna talk to him about Doge and
It's a dashiki.
scam and a psyop.
Really? You think they're taking screenshots from the actual purchasing system within the government, which is SAP? They're showing you the actual contracts of woke spending happening in Zimbabwe, DEI training in Nigeria. That's not, those screenshots are from the actual system. They've uncovered over $700 billion worth of fraud, waste, and abuse already.
Yeah, but they didn't cut the budget, so it doesn't fucking matter. They can just.
I agree. I agree. And I think Elon Musk, who just had surgery on his throat, he's like, what the fuck was the point of all this?
So why is your name still Doge? You gotta change your name, bro.
Well, it's basically Doge. I mean, he's making fun of it. I'm calling for the doging or douging of all the Republican and Democrat Congress people. Term limits. If we had term limits, we would have turnover, and we wouldn't have scam artists in there for 20, 30 years having 10, 20, 30, 50, $100 million in their war chest from Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Google, Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, every fucking Vanguard, BlackRock, pension fund, people that work, unlike you in this fucking JQ spam room, you fucking loser.
Yeah, but hold on, Doge. Like, answer the question, though, like a good Jew, all right? You have to answer the question, otherwise you might get...
I'm not Jewish. Stop calling me a Jew. My mother's gorgeous, and your mom's gotta be a Jew to be a Jew.
All right, tribe member. I'll go with tribe member. So you as a tribe member... Damn it, I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm a party affiliate. I am not Jewish. Your mother's got to be Jew to be Jewish, and I'm not Jewish.
I don't even read the Talmud. I've never given a loan an interest.
Have you ever even read a book? Have you picked up the Torah? Have you picked up the Torah and read a story about Ecclesiastes, the preacher, vanity of vanities? Don't you know that you're a schmuck? You don't read books. You don't even go to the gym. Read a book sometime and go to the gym. We'll call you. Don't call us.
And we can talk about Maimonides together. Let's do it, fellow Jews.
Maimonides is an amazing man. His books are phenomenal. If you haven't read Maimonides, you should try it. He's got a lot of wisdom.
Maimonides was the sick fuck, my friend. But anyways,
a sick fuck. The man was a genius. Have you read Maimonides?
Who doesn't accept your Jewish identity? You know an awful lot about. You know about Maimonides and stuff, huh? You seem.
Yeah. You know what Maimonides says? He says every woman you've ever fucked, she's your wife. She's your universal wife for life. You know, there's no such thing as it. Getting fucked is getting married.
Mercury, the foreskin is a shekel.
What was the question I was trying to ask Doge before, actually?
What were you trying to ask me?
I forget.
You were asking him who owns all those companies.
Oh yeah, good. See, Faustin, that's how you know he's a Jew. Or another reason why you know he's a Jew is because he just fucking sidestepped that. We went down on a whole other path.
He sidestepped Larry Finkelstein and BlackRock.
Colin, he's a Jew because he said Torah instead of Torah.
Torah.
That's why I laughed at him. I was like, Torah. Yeah, there we go.
Torah. Israel.
Picking it up.
Yeah,
that's a little lower.
Yeah,
bring it to like a 4. You're at like a 9.
This is like cartoonish level kvetching. Like you sound like a cartoon character.
Bro.
Haven't you heard of Gilbert Gottfried? Gilbert Gottfried's my father.
He's on the masturbation death machine. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know. Listen, you step away from the machine, Doge. You got a question to answer, okay? So all those companies that you named, all of the vaccine companies, right? All of the media companies that push the vaccine. Who owns all of those?
Primarily Vanguard and BlackRock.
Right, and what percentage of BlackRock is
But don't you guys know that Brother Nathaniel is the Mashiach and he actually owns BlackRock and Vanguard?
And that's how you know we're dealing with a proper New York
baby dick sucking.
Did you hear what Brother Nathaniel said last night? His dad knew about the Jewish supremacy, and he said, "Son, I'm gonna warn you about the Jewish supremacy."
With a proper New York baby dick sucking interest as high as possible. We are dealing with a bagel eating, matzo ball soup stirring, a kike. That's what we got going on here, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna put him back down the listener. He doesn't even really belong in listener, to be honest with you. But
I live for this troll, Doc. This shit is hilarious.
Profile picture, the Masonic apron behind him.
Oh, I missed the apron, bro. I was too busy looking at his African tribal shirt.
Right behind him, bro.
Oh yeah, he's definitely been in the tunnels under the synagogues.
Yeah, bro was like literally put a cape on the kike, and he's a super Jew.
My father's Jewish. I'm not a Jew, I swear. Don't look at my Freemason cape.
I kind of lost track of hands. We're just going to... Mud, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Ethan's gone.
Sorry, man.
Oh, but we got the bonus plan with Yosemite Sam there. But, yeah. Did you guys see this post about where they arrested this so-called shooter in D.C.? It's just a complete setup. I mean, the cops are nice to him. Someone even picked something up for him. And it's complete sham. And then, the first report said he escaped on a motorcycle. Really? Okay. Well, that's funny. He was here for a stage show that made sure that his prop guy gave him his prop. The police were very cordial, held the door open for him, and allowed him to speak those very important words, free Palestine, for the guy that doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, they couldn't have done a lousier job on a false flag ever. And, if you want me to share it with the space, I can, because I've been watching this. It's just a complete, just sham. I'll land there.
I put it up in the nest.
He's got it up there. It's crazy, right?
Did you guys notice? I'm sorry, I'm speaking out of turn, but you guys notice that Crystal Knock got kicked off by kind of like the reverse scenario, where a Jew killed 2 Germans?
Well, I didn't see that. Crystal Knock had some other, there was some fag stuff going on and things like, there was some stuff going on within that was a complicated time, we'll say it that way. I can see some similarities, yeah, but I wouldn't compare the two as of right now, unless we start to, I wouldn't compare the two, put it that way. I don't think there'll be a world war, but I do see the similarities a little bit, but there was a ton of extracurricular motivation, so to speak, going on whenever it came to Crystal Knock.
Yeah, and also if you guys just want to kind of open mic it, we have some respectful regulars on here. So if you guys just want to, come off mute, just don't speak over each other, please, so we don't have to go back to hands. But if you want to go ahead, Amanda.
Really quick. Oh, and I'm going to start calling you Ryder Graham, right? Because you got great compliments yesterday from Dr. I can't ever say his last name, Reckenwald. I am doing, it looks like I'm going to do his audiobook, so, because I'm like you, him and I have talked about it already. I don't have time to sit and read. I like audiobooks. But yeah, I just wanted, real quick, I want to agree with you, Graham. So, first off, if you look at what Germany put up there, I mean, that's crazy. This guy just shot 2 people and he's wandering around, he's not even handcuffed yet. Oh, and here's your scar. Wouldn't he be on the ground? And people, cop would be sitting on him, and I don't know what all. But, what I read was that this event had been over for 6 hours, but they stayed behind because they were discussing the 2 people that were supposedly killed. And if they were, that's tragic because they have moms. But they were discussing how to get food aid into Gaza. Just so, an exclamation point on that. But where was usually the coroner shows up in a marked vehicle, and then press will stick around and you see them wheeling out 2 gurneys, and even if they took them out the back, a journalist would have been there taking pictures. So I don't put it past them killing their own. We've never seen Epstein. We've never seen Bin Laden. So I'm in the camp that I don't believe it. So, but that's just the camp I'm in. I've gotten to the point now where everything is a conspiracy theory to me, and I don't believe anything until I see it with my own eyes. So I'm kind of leaning towards your camp there, Grim. Show me the evidence, and then I will believe it. Until then, I'm still one big giant question mark. But keep writing, Grim. Maybe one day I'll be your publisher.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. That kind of threw me off guard, but yeah, he's a really good dude. I've never got the chance to speak with him, and that was a really good conversation.
Oh yeah, I really like him a lot. I've been kind of, every now and then I go on his account and, because I always put, until I see something better, I always have him, my ticket right now would be Massey and him as VP, so that's what I've got right now. Anyway, but he's a good guy, I like him.
We didn't really get into that. Is he running for office, or is he's trying to?
He did run for president with the Libertarian.
I think it's forget it. I think.
Carpal. You know damn right.
I'm going to sue him. He's going to go to jail. Okay, where the hell do you live? I live on your street. On my street? You know. You say that once I've kicked your dog. Yes. Where about you live? You know damn right. No, we do not know damn right. We don't even know you. Yes, you do. Why? What's the whole thing? You live on Latitude? No, you shut up. You're trying to. I'm going to call the police. And then you're going to go to jail. You damn right call the police because we don't know what the hell. You don't tell me damn right. Yeah. I'm going to kill you. You're going to kill me? You tell your dad that I'm going to get you and he's going to arrest you.
No, I don't think JB is. I'm saying, not JB. I'm saying, because he explained, the reason why he said it, right? But I think that there's a difference between JB saying it and other people that actually, wear the hat and, I'm proud to be white. No, you're saying that for a reason. And, we need to get to the bottom of why you think that doing nothing to be, and trying to assert dominance, it's weird and
Asserting
it's racist. I think it's racist.
Thank you. Infinite, you jumping in or no? I'll keep listening. I've got some thoughts, but all right. You want to raise your hand when you want to jump in?
I'm sure everybody is going to have thoughts after our next speaker, right, JB?
Yeah, listen, Pepe's a polarizing figure. He knows it. But you know what? I'll say this about Pepe. He's consistent. He don't leave his square. Pepe, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. I have a question for you. If I say I'm proud to be white, is that a racist comment?
I don't think so, not at all. I think saying white power, that's quite a bit of different slogan that neo-Nazis and stuff would use, but I don't think saying I'm proud to be white, no, I don't find that to be racist.
Thank you, Pepe. Edmund, what's up, Edmund? How you doing?
Yeah, I'd like to answer that question. I'm good. How are you?
Edmund, are we gonna have a normal conversation, or are you gonna go off the deep end tonight?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I have a good response for it.
Go ahead.
So if you say I'm proud to be black or I'm proud to be white, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just kind of ignorance in the sense that what is your metaphysic to your racial identity? Meaning you're just energy. So anybody who identifies themselves with black or white, it's just racial identity politic, and there's no metaphysic there. There's no question of actual intelligence in the conversation, because if you want to focus your force and do something with your politic, I mean, you have to transcend above this type of dialectic. Everybody knows the racial identity politic game, and Maxine Waters is, she's a swamp thing. I mean, that's the type of person that uses racial identity politics. Swamp creatures who are not intelligent and go for the lowest common denominator, as opposed to going high, they go low. That's what racial identity politics is.
Hey, you had casual popcorn style. You want to welcome Greg Mike.
I just wanted to say this regarding, and I can understand where B is coming from. So, I mean, for a long time, and I can understand that generally the smaller the minority you are of a population, the more tribal and the more proud you are going to be of your difference. And you'll kind of embrace it, and you'll be more tight-knit, which I guess is also tribal. But with white people, we generally never had pride in who we were because we were the status quo. We were the majority. It's like, why would you have pride in being what the vast majority of the people where you live are? And I would say that, like, kind of like what you've been seeing it's really accelerated in the last 10 years is the demonization of who you are, your ancestry, what your ancestors founded. It's just like, it's all shameful. There's no reason to, we need to eradicate whiteness and all of this stupid woke bullshit. But like, white people are becoming, even in what used to be traditionally majority white countries, a smaller share of the population. And there is kind of a double standard where you do see everybody else, they get to embrace who they are, say they're proud of who they are, but that's never granted towards white people. And so, like, there is, like, if you look, geographically in the United States, there are white people with unique subcultures. In Europe, of course, they all have unique subcultures. There is an identity that's there, and I don't think it's wrong to say that you're proud of who you are. And I think if it's granted evenly throughout any identity, that's not racist. You're literally it's allowing white people to have the same privilege to be proud of who they are. And I don't just mean like white generically, but in America we'll call ourselves quote unquote white, but that's, it's going to be different throughout the rest of the world. Most people in like Europe, for example, are going to be proud to be Greek, whatever. I do think that's healthy and that's okay. And I think it's perfectly healthy and okay to be proud to be Dominican or from Ghana or whatever. But for some reason, there's still some people that like hold on to, they have this visceral reaction, like, oh my God, you can't do that. That leads to genocide and like whatever, like crazy shit. Like, but we're no different than any other group. Africans, Asians, all religious groups have committed genocide. It doesn't always have to go there. But I'm curious what B would have to say about that.
Before B goes, I would love to comment on something you said, Pepe, and it was actually the very first thing you said. Gave me, wow, that is amazing. And I'll paraphrase if I don't get it exactly right. The larger the minority or the smaller the group, the more proud you are. Well, you immediately made me think of my group, because I know that Jewish population in the United States is about 2.5%. And around the world, the Jewish population is about 0.5%. Now, in the United States, the percentage of black people is about 13.5 to 15%. No disrespect, I'm just pointing that out. The population of the white Christian whatever is like 2/3, like 70%. White people 80%, whatever it is, I don't know. But I am very proud of my group, and I know that when it comes to Jews, and as you said, paraphrase again, less divisiveness, less disagreement. When you're a Jew and you're a Jew, generally speaking, you're not arguing within the group. I hear a lot of other groups, both white and black, argue about certain things. Jewish population minority, 2% in the United States, 0.5% around the world. When you're Jewish, man, we just generally we're tight knit, and that was amazing. Thank you.
Well, let me say this real quick. Yeah, Pepe, great share. Nebraska, great share. Steve, great share. But let me say this, man. The hypocrisy of Americans, Pepe. You ready? I could get on this app and say, I'm a fucking proud Italian American. I'm proud Italian American, baby. And people won't blink twice. Meanwhile, Italians did horrible shit throughout the centuries, right? Have slaves and all that crazy shit. But if I say I'm a proud white American, I should have white shame. Interesting.
I agree 100%, and I do think that what a lot of people have to realize is that most white people in the United States are mixed mutts of different European ancestry, and even maybe like non-European ancestry to a degree. But the average person, the average quote-unquote white person throughout the United States, they're a mix. Like, what else can they call themselves besides white? They're not Italian or Irish or Greek anymore. And you know, if you're a white guy who grew up in Oklahoma and you have like all of this different ancestry, you're just like a white guy at that point. And you know, I would just say this: throughout history, if you were to look at even Italy, France, we can name any of the countries in Europe, there were waves of migration, different people conquering these different areas. They're not exactly the same people they were like 1,000 years ago, but they do have real identities at a point. Like the Italians are a real group of people with a real culture that's distinct from every other group of people. And so I would say, like, okay, in America, yeah, you have white people. We're a mixed European ancestry, the younger generations at least. But that's just who we are. And just like African Americans that descended from slaves, they have some mixture, but they do have like an ethnogenesis that stems from them being brought here as slaves. They are different from every other black people in the world. And so I would just say, like, okay, they call themselves ADOS and FBA, like that's fine, but they are different from other black people, and they have a label. And I don't know. I think it's we've done bad shit. Like, yes, every group has done bad shit in their past, but like looking at today, I think to like shame somebody for their existence and who they are, that is the double standard that I have a real fucking problem with.
Thank you, Pepe. Let me welcome. How you doing tonight, Medgar? Medgar, are you there? Okay.
Yo, calling Medgar.
All right.
I'm sorry, the button is kind of difficult.
No, listen, man, you're a brew and you're good with me.
Yeah, I welcome. I'm listening and learning and.
Well, chime in. What are your thoughts on the conversation?
It's interesting, and you know, I think the United States is at a point where it's, you know, realizing how old it actually is, and it's starting to realize what made America. And, you know, we have to look at, as a African American or a black person or a person of color, we have to realize that, you know, if you do the math, you know, slavery ended for black people, what, 160 years ago? And when you look at how long ago 1776 was. We are a very young country, and those years of my ancestors and those that created the wealth, the free wealth that made America what it is. There's been slavery all over the country, but speaking specifically about the United States, the wealth that was generated on earth for the United States just in these 400 years or so is now starting to be realized because there's no more free labor, and that reality is surfacing and realizing. And so we have to ask, okay, what is happening in the world with like the dollar, Brexit, and there's a lot of things that are coming to a head, and the truth is actually surfacing, and this dialogue is healthy. And so as a Black man, I'm 61 years old, and I've lived long enough to see the changes. Being from California and having 11 uncles and aunts who lived in Alabama and literally marched in the streets with Martin Luther King. And so those relatives.
Yeah, it would be nice if they did that. They beheaded all of them or hung them, and there was a lot of.
I'm talking about the first part of initially bringing somebody out of the house, kick the door in. Now all the women and children are screaming and crying. They look for the men in the house or the young boys in the house. They grab them out, and the women start trying to fight the soldier. Soldier slaps the woman or hits her.
How long are you guys gonna spam tonight? Your bullshit all night long, spamming, communication, spam, 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 spam. Nothing intelligent, wasted time, just spam and more fucking spam. Communication hypnosis, more propaganda, more spam, more stupidity, more spam, more spam.
Okay, so yeah.
Lion was really getting off on describing it in detail.
Back to the spam.
I love it. Can't wait for this talk. He was like, oh, this is exactly what I wish I could do.
So you said, I just want to know what happened. So they kicked in the door, I guess they took the men, left the women?
No, they murdered the women and children of the Internet listed. You can't leave those people around. And then after that, news really didn't spread fast enough, and the Armenians that were enlisted in the Ottoman Empire were then gathered up and they were killed. And then the programs began, right, where they would collect the individuals and say, hey, grab a bag, you're being, moved, essentially. Yeah, you're being moved to another location. It's not safe here. And that was all done under the guise of World War I. So they enlisted Armenians, any able-bodied man, generally in certain regions that had. So there was a plan for the Baghdad-Berlin Railroad, which was
slow down.
through.
Whoa, you're moving way too fast. So in one particular part, they murdered all of these people, right? And then after that, they told the other people who didn't know what was going on, hey, listen, it's dangerous. We need every man or able-bodied man to fight the war.
No, you misunderstood. They killed everybody, though.
Funny, he just
I think you gave some kind of educational thing about like.
Yeah, you did the whole.
Oh my God! You did the more intellectual.
Yeah.
You were like, this derived some sense for it. Like, you did some shit like that, bro.
So what else did I? So what did I say exactly?
I'll find it right now.
Yeah, fine.
What's up?
Bro, that was hilarious.
I'm gonna play it real quick. Hold on.
The Hindus were going crazy in that.
Was I? Who was I insulting? Was I being racist? Was I being crazy? Did I make any terrorist
No, I
reference?
think you were trying to be like a voice of reason or something like that. And then you had all the Hindus and the Jewish people going crazy at each other because of the symbol.
Jack, I'm gonna play it real quick.
Oh, go for it.
Can you please just get to the part where I'm speaking so I can see if my life has been ruined or not? I beg you.
It's a lot of fucking. It's like a lot of material.
What the fuck? Hold on. I'm fucking.
I hear Nair's voice and I can't find Nair. Nair, what's your name?
Can I play this?
Oh, he's Amos today. Oh, you're such a good Amos.
Can I play this? Jack? Nair, please. Can someone please play the clip?
Amos, can you hit on me first, please? I have it.
Listen, Lollipop, I tried to tell you long time, it's the woman that I want so much on the clubhouse.
Thank you so much, okay?
Yes.
Can I play the clip now?
Now please to massage my foot, please.
Listen, Mrs. Howell, I'm not
Jack.
This is a classification. This is.
Alright, play the clip. Alright, play the clip.
You're taking too long. We can't hear shit.
Dick, are you trying to play something?
No, she had like a razor phone. You got to let her give some time, you know. Her internet hasn't.
Fucking razor phone.
Her internet hasn't caught up with her phone yet.
Wait, what? She's got dial-up.
Next, let's go and play the clip.
Three more times, they won't.
You done this so many times.
No, but the point is, we are trying to have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. This is not a monologue or something.
But I got.
Barbie and I were both in a Bible space right up until the point when I came back right before she did. We missed the epic beatdown that you gave this guy that we keep hearing about. I'm gonna go back and listen to the recording, but I'm begging anybody in the space that has the clip of it. I really want to hear it.
It was brutal. It was definitely entertaining. It was one of her better ones. There's a bunch of foul language in there, but she wasn't so polite to him, and that was almost like
That was the finest moment.
Yeah, I loved it.
Hey, Jack, trying to see you posted it about Alyssa Milano. I wonder how many views you're gonna get.
So,
Man, one of the last videos I posted recently got about 2.5 million views.
I do feel guilty.
You really ought to make that clip available, at least to this group.
I think it might affect my career, but I'll go find the timestamp.
The most impressions I've ever gotten from a post was 25 million. And then there was another one that was about 6.8 million. And another one I think about like 1.3 million.
Yeah, when I make a post, I get like 30 impressions.
This is how I got my neighbor's dog to stop.
What y'all got? Y'all ain't got no bullshit, do you?
I semi fuck with you, boy. You be lying, but you know if I'm feeling down, I know one thing.
Alright.
Figure out why are they still wearing masks, and I'm wondering if medical care facilities are still implanting that fear in these old people, because here in Atlanta, it's usually always older people that I see with the masks on, especially. It's like they've instilled that fear.
Yeah, psychological, like it was so, like I don't want to go back to this again. It was crazy. Imagine being on a subway with